My name is Juana. I live with my husband Kino and our little baby, Coyotito. We live in a small, poor village near the sea. Our house is made of brush with a roof of dry leaves. It is not big, but it is our home. Every morning when the sun rises, I make a fire and prepare corn cakes for breakfast. Kino sits outside and watches the light come slowly across the sand. The world feels quiet then. The air is soft and the sea is calm. I love those mornings because everything feels simple, safe, and full of peace. Our baby, Coyotito, sleeps in a hanging basket made from a blanket. I often look at him and whisper prayers to keep him safe. Kino loves to sit near him and smile. We are poor, but we are happy. We have enough to eat, and we have each other. That is all we need, I used to think. But one morning changed everything. That morning was bright and beautiful. The sky was blue, and the sun was warm on our skin. I was cooking breakfast when I heard a small sound from Coyotito. He was awake and laughing softly. I smiled and went to him. But then, as I bent over his basket, I froze. My eyes saw something small and moving. On the rope above the basket, a scorpion slowly came down. Its body shined like gold in the sunlight. My heart stopped. I wanted to cry out, but I knew if I shouted, the scorpion might fall on the baby. Kino saw my eyes and turned. He followed my look and saw it too. His face became hard, his muscles tight. Slowly, slowly, he moved his hand toward the scorpion. My mouth whispered a prayer. "Holy Mother, protect us," I said again and again. I hoped my words could keep the scorpion away. But the baby moved his hand and laughed, and the scorpion fell. It landed on Coyotito's shoulder and struck before I could stop it. The baby screamed. I ran and caught him in my arms. My heart was full of fear. A red mark was already growing on his skin. Kino hit the scorpion with his hand until it was a broken shadow on the floor. He stood breathing hard, his face full of pain and anger. I did not care about the scorpion. I cared only for our baby. I took him outside into the sunlight. "We must go to the doctor," I said. "He will help our child." But Kino looked down, and I knew what he was thinking. The doctor never came to our part of the village. He only went to the rich town people, the ones with money and fine clothes. Still, I held Coyotito close and started walking. I would not let my baby die. We went to the town together. The people followed us, whispering. Everyone knew the doctor did not help the poor. But I kept walking. When we reached the doctor's big white house, Kino knocked on the gate. I heard voices inside. A servant came and looked at us. Kino said softly, "Our baby is sick. A scorpion bit him. Please, ask the doctor to come." The servant looked at our clothes and bare feet. Then he went inside. After a few minutes, he came back. His eyes did not meet ours. "The doctor is busy," he said. "He is gone out." But I could hear laughter inside, and I knew he was lying. Kino's face turned red. I saw shame and anger in his eyes. He hit the gate with his hand, hard. Blood came from his knuckles. My heart broke for him. We walked back to the village in silence. When we returned home, I took herbs and pressed them on Coyotito's wound. His crying was weak, but the swelling did not grow worse. I prayed that God would hear us. Kino sat outside, quiet and sad. The sky was still blue, but our hearts were heavy. That afternoon, Kino went to the beach. He took his canoe, the one that came from his grandfather. It was the only thing we owned that had real value. He pushed it into the water, and I climbed in with Coyotito. The sea was calm, shining under the sun. I looked at the water and prayed again for our baby. Kino said, "Maybe we will find a pearl today." He dived into the water with a stone tied to his waist. I waited, holding my breath. I watched the small bubbles rise to the surface. He stayed under for a long time. When he came up, he threw oysters into the canoe. Some were small, some were large. One was very big and beautiful. Its shell was gray, but I felt something special about it. Kino looked at it too. He took a knife and opened the other oysters first. There were small pearls, white and dull. But when he picked up the large oyster, he hesitated. The shell opened slowly, like a secret. I saw his eyes grow wide. A light seemed to shine in them. "Juana," he whispered. "The pearl of the world." Inside the shell was a pearl as big as a bird's egg, round and shining like silver and moonlight together. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. Kino held it in his rough hand, and the sun made it glow even brighter. My heart stopped for a moment. I looked at Coyotito, and I saw that the swelling on his shoulder was smaller. I cried softly. "The pearl has saved him," I said. Kino smiled. His face was full of joy, of dreams. "We will be rich," he said. "Coyotito will go to school. We will have new clothes. We will have a real wedding in the church. You will wear a blue shawl." His voice was full of hope. I looked at him, and I wanted to believe. I wanted to believe the pearl was a blessing, a gift from God. The sun shone on the water, and the pearl seemed to hold the whole world inside it. But somewhere deep in my heart, I felt a small fear. I did not know why. Maybe I knew that great beauty can bring great danger. That evening, everyone in the village heard about the pearl. People came to see it. Some smiled, but their eyes were dark with envy. Others whispered in corners. I felt their eyes like sharp stones. I held Coyotito close and whispered, "Please, let this bring us good, not evil." But the night was silent, and the stars looked far away. Before I continue my story, please subscribe, share, and tell me where you are listening from. Your support means a lot to me. Now let's continue. When Kino found the great pearl, our lives changed, but not in the way we hoped. At first, it felt like a miracle. We sat together by the fire that night, looking at it. The pearl was so beautiful that it almost hurt my eyes. It shone softly, like a small moon in Kino's hand. He looked at it again and again, smiling. I smiled too, but deep inside, something felt cold and strange. The next morning, everyone in the village talked about the pearl. The priest came to visit us. He had never come before. He smiled and said kind words, but his eyes went straight to the pearl. "God has blessed you, my children," he said. "You will remember to thank him, won't you?" Kino nodded, but I saw the priest's face. It was full of hunger, not faith. Then came the shopkeeper. He talked sweetly. He said he could sell the pearl for us in the city. After that came the doctor, the same man who refused to help Coyotito before. Now he came smiling, pretending to care. "I heard the child was bitten," he said. "I came to see him." Kino looked at him with hard eyes, but I said nothing. The doctor looked at our poor house with disgust. He opened his bag and gave the baby some medicine. I did not trust him. When he left, he looked around and asked softly, "And where might this pearl be?" Kino said nothing. The doctor smiled a small, strange smile. "Be careful," he said. "Sometimes a man can lose what he loves most if he keeps too much treasure." That night, I felt afraid. I could not sleep. I held Coyotito close, listening to the sound of the waves. Kino lay beside me, still awake. Suddenly, I heard a small sound outside. A footstep. Kino jumped up. He grabbed his knife and ran out. I heard a cry in the dark, then silence. My heart beat fast. Kino came back breathing hard. "Someone tried to steal the pearl," he said. His face had a small cut. After that night, Kino was not the same. He was always watching, always angry. His eyes moved quickly, like an animal's. When I looked at him, I saw both fear and fire. He began to talk more about the future. "We will have a big house," he said. "Coyotito will wear fine clothes. He will go to school. He will read books and learn things we never knew." I listened, but I felt tired. I wanted peace, not riches. "Kino," I said softly, "maybe the pearl is evil. Maybe it will destroy us." But Kino's face became hard. "It is our only chance," he said. "Our son will have a different life. I will not let this pearl be taken from us." The next day, Kino went to town to sell the pearl. The buyers sat together in a small office. They looked at the pearl but pretended it was nothing special. One man said, "It is too large. It is not perfect." Another said, "It is too soft. I can only pay 1,000 pesos. Kino's face turned red. "It is worth 50,000, he said. They laughed. Kino's hands shook. He knew they were cheating him. He walked out, his eyes full of anger and shame. When we returned home, the people were quiet. Some looked sorry, others smiled secretly. I saw greed in their eyes. I felt the air grow heavy, full of envy. That night, Kino sat by the fire, staring at the pearl. The light danced on his face. "They want to cheat me," he said. "They think a poor man does not know value. I will go to the capital. There I will sell it for its true price." I looked at Coyotito sleeping and felt my heart ache. "Kino," I whispered, "the pearl brings only sorrow. Let us throw it away before it destroys us." He turned to me, his face full of anger. "Do not say that," he said. "It is our future. It is our son's life." That night, I woke to a noise again. Someone was outside the house. Kino ran out with his knife. I heard the sounds of fighting and then a heavy silence. I ran to him. He stood shaking, holding the knife, and there was blood on his arm. I felt sick. "They tried again," he said. His eyes were wild. I begged him. "Kino, the pearl is evil. Let me throw it into the sea before it kills us." I ran to take it, but he caught my wrist roughly. "No," he said. His voice was hard like a stone. "Never." The next morning, I woke early. Kino was still asleep. I took the pearl from its hiding place. It shone in my hand, soft and cold. I walked to the beach. The sea was quiet, the sky gray. I held the pearl high. "Evil thing," I whispered. "Go back to the sea." I wanted to throw it far away. But before I could, Kino was there. He grabbed my arm and pulled me back roughly. I cried, "Kino, please!" But his face was dark with rage. He hit me, and I fell to the sand. For a moment, I lay there crying. I did not know this man. He was not my husband anymore. He was someone else. Someone blinded by dreams. Kino looked down at me, his chest moving fast. Then I saw his face change. He looked sorry, afraid. He said my name softly, "Juana." But it was too late. I stood and walked home slowly, holding Coyotito in my arms. Soon after, Kino came running back, breathless. "They came again," he said. "They attacked me near the boat. They broke the canoe." I felt the world go still. The canoe was everything to us. It was life, food, and future. "Then we must go," I said quietly. "We must run before they kill us." Kino nodded, his face full of pain. When night came, we left our house. The moon was high and pale. Kino carried the pearl hidden in his clothes. I carried our baby close to my heart. We walked silently through the dark paths, away from the village. Behind us, I saw the fire rising. Our home was burning. Everything we had was gone. As we walked into the hills, I looked at Kino and remembered the man he used to be. Gentle, kind, full of laughter. Now his face was hard and tired. The pearl had changed him. It had changed all of us. That night we hid among the rocks. The wind was cold. Kino held the knife in his hand and listened for footsteps. Coyotito slept quietly. I prayed that God would protect us. I prayed that Kino would see the truth. The pearl still lay hidden in his clothes, glowing faintly like a small, cold moon. It was beautiful, but beauty can also destroy. I knew, deep in my heart, that something terrible was coming. We walked all night, far from the village. The sky was full of stars, and the wind was cold. Kino held my hand tightly, and I carried Coyotito close to my chest. He was tired and quiet. I could feel his small breath on my skin. I prayed again and again, not for money or a big house, but only for safety. When morning came, the sun was hot. We reached the dry mountains. Kino looked for a place to hide. He found a small cave between the rocks. "We will rest here," he said. His face was covered with dust, and his eyes looked tired. I gave him water, and we sat together in silence. We thought we were safe. But when the sun began to fall, Kino looked down the path and saw something that made him freeze. "They are following us," he whispered. I looked and saw small shapes moving far away. 3 men. Trackers. One of them had a rifle. They were looking for us. They wanted the pearl. My heart beat fast. Kino said, "We must hide here until night. Then we will go higher." I nodded. I held Coyotito tighter. The baby made a small sound, and Kino turned quickly. "Juana, keep him quiet," he said. "If they hear us, they will kill us." The sun went down, and darkness covered the hills. The trackers stopped below us. We could see their small fire. Kino whispered, "When they sleep, I will go down and take the rifle." I looked at him with fear. "No," I said softly. "Stay here. They will kill you." But he shook his head. "There is no choice," he said. He crawled down slowly into the dark. I stayed in the cave, holding Coyotito. The baby began to cry softly. I tried to keep him quiet, pressing him close to my shoulder. I whispered prayers, but he was hungry, and the sound of his small cry went out into the night. Below, I saw the trackers move. One of them lifted his head. I saw a spark of light. The rifle moving toward our cave. Then came the loud sound of a gunshot. My heart stopped. I held Coyotito tighter, but suddenly everything went still. The baby stopped, moving. I felt something cold and heavy inside me. Then I heard another sound. Kino's cry, sharp and full of pain. He ran up the hill. When he reached me, his face was pale, his eyes full of terror. He looked at me and then at the baby. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Then Kino fell to his knees beside me. His knife was red. He had killed the trackers, but it was too late. We stayed there in silence as the night passed. The stars were bright, but they looked cruel. The wind blew gently over the rocks. I felt empty. The world had stopped. When morning came, we walked down from the mountains. Kino carried Coyotito in his arms, wrapped in a small cloth. His steps were slow and heavy. I walked beside him. We did not speak. The world around us was quiet, only the sound of our feet in the dust. When we reached the village, people saw us coming. They stopped what they were doing. No one spoke. The women looked at me with sad eyes. The men stepped back as we passed. They saw the dead baby in Kino's arms, and they knew. We walked through the broken ashes of our home. The walls were black from fire. Nothing was left. Kino stopped near the water where his old canoe had been. The pieces of it still floated near the shore. He stood for a long time, staring at the sea. Then slowly, he took the pearl from his clothes. It still shone in the sunlight, bright and beautiful, like the first morning we found it. I looked at it, and I remembered everything. The joy, the dreams, the fear, the blood. I felt tears on my face. Kino looked at the pearl in his hand. His eyes were full of sadness and hate. "This is the thing," he said softly. "This is what destroyed us." He held it up, and for a moment the light of the sun flashed across its surface, like a small fire. Then he drew back his arm and threw it far into the sea. The pearl fell through the air, bright like a falling star. It hit the water and sank. For a moment, I saw its light deep below the waves. Then it was gone. The sea was calm again. We stood there quietly, side by side. Kino still held our baby close, and I touched his arm. We were empty, but somehow still alive. The dreams had died, but the truth remained. We turned and walked away from the water, step by step, into the fading light. The sun went down behind the hills, and the world became soft and gray. I did not look back. The pearl was gone, but maybe, one day, peace would return.